Poor Todd. That man has no nipples. I definitely didn't get that one. Break the sound barrier during a form. That's overselling it a little bit. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Season 2, Episode 6, also known as the series finale of Whistlekick Live. That's right, this is the very last one. This is it. We're calling it quits. We're going out on a high note, and that's what we're doing. So, as always, want to give a shout out to Gabe, and I point over here because he's on a computer over here. This is where I see him. Thank you to Gabe for all that he does in putting the show together, as well as the other people who contribute. Frank with his jokes, and I'm sure there are others who contributed to this one, but I don't have a list in front of me. So my apologies to anybody I missed. To all of you watching, or maybe watching later, or listening later, all of that, thank you. Thanks for joining us. Hope you have a good time. And if you enjoy the show, maybe this is your first time finding the show, which is super disappointing that you're coming in on the last one. But if that's the case, make sure you're checking out Whistlekick Martial Arts Radio and First Cup and all the other things that we do. Go to whistlekick.com. That's where you're going to find out about everything that we've got going on. Tons of stuff. You can't get this shirt. We don't sell this shirt anymore. Maybe again someday, but that's where we're at. So we've got an hour of fun. I think we'll call it fun. There's probably going to be other emotions expressed during the show, but mostly fun, entertainment, and we'll see where the show takes us. That's one of the fun things about this show is that I don't know what's going on. Gabe doesn't tell me. Not because he doesn't want to, but because I don't want to know. I'd rather just experience it live and just kind of let it unfold organically. I think that's a lot of fun. It's a good time. I get to enjoy it with you instead of planning it ahead. I don't know what we've got planned first. I don't really have much of an opening monologue. So let's get into the first thing. What do we got, man? Where are we going? What are we doing? Oh, tell me about your biggest words. Tell us about your biggest martial art pet peeves. Um, I'm conflicted with my pet peeves because some of them I feel really strongly about, but then at the same time, I try to leave space for people to do things differently. So it's a bit of a contradiction, and I need to learn to breathe in better. This is why I yawn. It's because I spend all my time breathing out and talking. I gotta breathe in. So fortunately, Gabe has some notes here from me of things that I find to be pet peeves. The first one on the list: high ranks with poorly tied belts. I have no problem if you're a low rank, new to training, and you don't know how to tie your belt. But if you're a red belt and you can remember a bunch of forms, if you've been training for years and you don't know how to tie your belt, I think that reflects poorly on a bunch of people involved. Now, if your instructor doesn't enforce you learning how to tie your belt, then it's on them, it's not on you. But it still irritates me. There aren't a lot of things that I think are important. Showing up, wearing a relatively clean uniform that doesn't stink, and having your belt tied right, and showing up on time. Like, these are basic rules of participating in society. Yeah, there's the next one: not bathing. If you smell gross at the beginning of class, that's disrespectful to everyone involved. And you know what? I can see circumstances where maybe it happens once in a great while. Something's going on, especially some of us who stress release stinky armpits. Fine. But if you're always smelly, you're being rude to everybody else in class. That ticks me off. Instructors who avoid demonstrating techniques so they don't look bad. That drives me insane. There are instructors who maybe physically aren't what they used to be, and they seem to think that because they're not as good as they used to be, they would rather, I don't know, not demonstrate techniques and have the mystique of their skills maintained. Have people whisper about them. That's just dumb. Don't be dumb. Show people. One of the things I find most admirable is when a high-ranking martial artist is willing to admit that they don't know something or do something imperfectly, and they're working to get better. What better leadership is there than that? Sharp and uncut toenails. Just stop it. I'll cut off your toes. And then the last one on my list, conscious disrespect. I think that one's pretty obvious. Do we have anybody else? Did you ask that question of anyone else? Whether or not they... No, we didn't ask anybody else. I don't know if there's... Gabe's mom is in the chat. That's cool. I don't know if anybody else has any pet peeves. I think Andrew wants me to talk about your new YouTube channel. Okay. Is this a good time to do that? Sure. Okay, cool. So since the last episode, I launched a personal YouTube channel, another one. There are several, but this one is called Jeremy Lesniak Martial Arts. You can find it. We are not going to link it from anything whistlekick. This is probably the only time it's going to be referenced on anything whistlekick. And why are we doing that? Or why are we not doing that? Because some of the videos that I'm going to put out are going to say, here's how I think you should do this versus how I think you should not do this. And that breaks one of whistlekick's rules about being style agnostic. Whistlekick is style agnostic. I am not. So that's where we are. Some of the first, what was it, the first 7 videos are, here are some thoughts on teaching a front kick. And here are thoughts on what augmented or double arm blocks are. And if you search for Jeremy Lesniak Martial Arts on YouTube, you will find it. There are only a few Jeremy Lesniaks, and none of the others do martial arts. So we've got some highlights now from season 1, episodes 1 through 4. What's going on here? What do we got? Episode 1, which was me in front of the fire being awful. What's one of your funniest memories from training? My back sweat so much with those first episodes. It was so warm. Gabe says, during a break at a karate camp, I walked by a group of girls sitting together and overheard, that's why I was thinking about putting blueberries in his ears. Brett Calloway, my first day of Hapkido, an armband was being performed on me during sparring. The guy squeezed so hard he passed gas really loudly, right in my face. I accidentally called him an SOB. My instructor was kind of upset with me until he smelled it and then called him an SOB himself. Oh, that's wonderful. I love it. What's next? Any others? Any others? Most memorable testing experience? Gabe has like 7 windows he's managing right now, and I don't want to step on him, so that hence the delay. Padme says, my husband, who's also my student, decided on his own that his test for yellow belt needed to be epic. An epic yellow belt test, setting the bar high. So he took off on a nearly 20-mile bike ride before his test, carrying boards to break. Years later, at the end of his black belt test, which included the same bike ride and a Zumba class, I gave him 2 Rubik's Cubes to complete. One was the basic regular colors, but the other one was shades of gray and black. He was so wiped out that he could not separate what colors were which. Ha! That is epic. That is setting the bar high. Kudos. Kudos on that one. You know, I think testing is a great time to figure out what you're made of. You know, what is your capacity? And then prove to yourself that those rules don't exist. Of course, the higher rank you get, the more I think appropriate that is. Matt says his pet peeve is arrogance. That's kind of generic, Matt. I'm going to pick on you. What's your weirdest martial arts superstition? Well, I paint my toenails before black belt tests in Taekwondo. I don't know if that's a superstition. It's not like I feel like I'm not going to do well if I don't do that. Do I have any other superstitions? No, I do not. Let's work on that breathing thing so I yawn less. Jenny says, the night before a competition or test, I have to watch The Karate Kid. Don't we all? The day of the competition, my uniform cannot be clean. That is, I had to have worn it for class at least once before the competition or testing day. I also need to arrive wearing my personalized Black Mamba t-shirt, gifted to me by my chief instructor and warm up listening to Dream Theater. But those aren't weird, right? Those are super weird, Jenny. Jenny's in the chat. People are laughing at Jenny. Good times. Jamie says, a uniform is not worth wearing until it's had blood on it. Really an old hockey superstition that carried over. I, Jenny, had one friend in my dojo who had to wear a t-shirt inside out under his gi when competing. Our sensei had made him flip his shirt inside out once because of the graphic on it, and he went on to win all his divisions that day. So from then on, an inside out t-shirt was a must. Okay. Hey, you do what works. If it works, you do it. You do it till it stops working. Or you come up with something better. Superstitions, maybe they're not superstitions. Maybe they're just experience. Maybe they're proof. What is next? We're following up on Matt. Matt says his pet peeve is arrogance. He elaborated those. If you see me like looking weird, it's because the arm from the camera is right in front of the screen, so I can't always see the words. He elaborated those who lack humbleness, humility. Also, my computer is lagging. Great! I'm glad the technical issues aren't on my end this time. That's awesome. All right, apparently we're doing trivia. Once you see the first question, write your answer down. That's so much longer. Ugh. Okay. Once you see your first question, write your answer down. Don't answer out loud or in the chat, and the answers will be revealed at the end of the show. All right. Okay, I'm ready. Let's do it. Hold on. I'm yawning. I'm going to read the questions for the benefit of the people who listen in audio form later. What was the very first topic discussed on the first episode of Whistlekick Live? You write this like I should remember. We've covered a lot of ground in a year and a half, Gabe. I don't know. I'm guessing. Are you advancing the slides? Andrew says, oh my God, I hate you, Gabe. That's an insane question. How are martial artists sometimes like crabs? Oh, I know this one. It's a great picture of a bucket of crabs. Oh, that's not a trivia question. I want you to talk about it. I thought we were running with like 10 trivia questions in a row. I wrote down my answer though. All right. How are martial artists sometimes like crabs? I've shared the analogy, a bucket of crabs. You don't have to put a top on it because the moment one crab starts to get out, the others will try to get out and pull that one down. And there are times when martial artists don't want to see other martial artists succeed. Unfortunately, even in the last 18 months, I have witnessed some of that. People that had been friends or that I thought were friends, people that I thought I had the support of, as we've moved forward, as we've grown, as we've done more things and pushed the envelope, they've decided that they don't want to be around. They don't want to talk to me. They don't want to be my friend. And to all of those people, thank you. You give me motivation, and you make it a lot easier for me to know who actually belongs to be in my life. Are we just rolling into this? Is this an answer to a question? No, there's no, just, okay. Gabe says, I am not naturally flexible, but training in the martial arts has helped me tremendously. This has nothing to do with being a crab. Gaining flexibility not only helps me kick people in the head, but also with my job when I need to climb or step over something. Anyone else experience a non-martial art benefit from training in the martial arts? The ability to close cabinets with my foot. the ability to break pieces of wood for kindling without hurting myself. Daniel says, I was running in an off-road race last winter and saw a guy a few meters in front of me trip over something. He barely even seemed to break stride as he hit the ground with a perfect rolling brake fall and popped back up and kept running. That would be a great benefit, to offset one's clumsiness, which we all have clumsy moments. We all trip and slip and catch our toes on things and knees. Oh, this is a good one. Is this from early on? Because I like this. Yeah? Sparring is just mutually agreed upon assault. I love it. What I don't like is I don't see any whistlekick gear in that shot, but that's okay. It's all good. It's all good. I like the mats, though. They're colorful. Why are mats always red and blue? Why don't we see other colors of mat? Well, black, I guess. You wouldn't want white. There's whistlekick stuff in there you can't see because we're wearing it. All right. That picture is from karate camp. Right on. It looked like your school because I see the one person with the Kicks logo on the back of their t-shirt. Nice. If the martial arts were developed today, what would the weapons look like? Brooms, pool cues, rakes and shovels, far more knives. Answers from the show included pool cues, hammers, shovels, selfie sticks, knives, shovels again, scissors, and other things you have laying around. Knives! I don't think I have scissors handy. Are there scissors in here? No. No scissors in there. What about a pen? Stabbing people with pens. That was not question 2. I got to cross that all out on my list. Those answers fit perfectly with this quote. I'm reading my own quote. This is weird. There are only so many ways the human body can move, and only a portion of them makes sense through the lens of combat. Sometimes I've changed that last bit from the perspective of combat. But either way, it's the same idea. I said that. And it's a picture of me. It's weird. It's me looking at a picture of me reading a quote from me. This feels incredibly, well, it's not arrogant because I didn't choose to do it. Self-serving, and it also looks like I'm wearing a brown belt, which is totally funny. Something's off on the color on that, but that's cool. It's the only time I've worn that red gi. I think. Poll: 3 old and equally wise masters live at the top of a mountain and will offer advice to anyone who makes the climb, but you can only talk to one. Who do you choose? The one who started with nothing got 8 votes. The one who never had any students got 1 vote. The one who was naturally gifted received no votes. And we had an addition: there is no need to choose any of them or seek advice if you know how to sense, observe, say nothing, ask nothing, just be present. I think the one who started with nothing, because you get to learn about process and growth, and I think those are important lessons. One of the things I've said in my personal circles is we need to be cautious of who we take advice from, because not all advice is equal. Would you take advice on money from someone who has none and never has? Maybe you take advice on how not to do things, but you're probably not going to listen to, their investment advice, for example. Matt said John Wick used a pencil as a weapon. I remember that. Be aware of who you're taking advice from and why. I think is the moral to that story. Gabe says, so did the Joker use a pencil as a weapon. Yeah, pencil's a great weapon. I carry this little flashlight. It's bright. Yay. And the battery's dead. There it is. Okay. But it's metal, mildly waterproof, and makes a great mini Kubaton. There goes my thumb, right? So you can get those like 4 for $15 on Amazon. Anyone who's participated in martial arts for any amount of time knows that those who don't train don't always understand what the arts are all about. What are some common or funny examples of misunderstandings from non-practitioners? We could have done like a whole show on this, and I don't just mean a whole like episode. We could just make this the whole show. We could go out to the public and just say, "Hey, what do you think about martial arts?" And they would say ridiculous things that would be wrong. So what do we got first? Gabe says, a few students and I were training weapons at a park, and we overheard a lady refer to our staffs as ninja sticks. And it's been an awesome inside joke ever since. I think we should call bows ninja sticks. I think that's a great name. That's like such a better name. If Whistlekick ever sells bows, we will call them ninja sticks somewhere in the description just for an inside joke. Jenny says, I was asked if I had to put that I was a martial artist on my passport application by someone who was sure they had read you couldn't travel internationally without letting the authorities know you had been trained in the martial arts. That's what I have to say about that. Which episode? Next trivia question: which episode or episodes had significant technical issues? um, I'm taking a guess. Most of you are probably going to have the same guess. Jenny says she would totally buy a Whistlekick ninja stick, and she even trademarked it. We should do that. We should make ninja sticks. Which episode or episodes had significant technical issues? Andrew said all of them. I suspect that's what most people are going to say. Most people never saw most of them. It's true. We were able to handle most of the significant technical issues. Highlights from season 1, episodes 5 through 8. Martial arts problems number 12. She gave you a romantic hug, but your mind goes to the next step, and it's someone with, I don't know if that qualifies as a hip throw, because the dude being thrown is up there. Like, I guess it counts as a hip throw, but that's a brutal hip throw. That is going to hurt when he hits. Gabe says, I would call that a shoulder throw. I could see that, but that doesn't appear to be the lever point. The hip still seems to be my guess is there was a step backwards and a big hip pop, which created that momentum. That's my guess from my 8 classes of judo. So much judo. You know you're a martial artist if everyone around you... Let's try reading better. You know you're a martial artist if everyone you know avoids sneaking up behind you for fear of bodily harm. And then the irony is that the team chose a picture of O-sensei, Morihei Ueshiba, from Aikido to use in the image. Of course, one of the most pacifistic martial artists. Probably best known for being a pacifist of all the martial arts prominent figures. Gabe's favorite story of all time. Jeremy was deployed as a weapon against a goose. Am I retelling this story? Is that what I'm doing? All right. I just told this story not long ago. I don't think it was in a martial arts context, though. I like this story. So I grew up in Maine, and as you might imagine, there are farms all over the place. My mother had a business partner who lived on a farm. Her husband was a farmer. They farmed primarily cattle, but there were pigs, and it was a big farm. And the farm's it's all gone now. I think the house is there, but all the outbuildings are gone. It's super weird. And there was a goose. There were several geese, but this one goose was super duper mean and hated people and wouldn't just honk and kind of be aggressive. It would actually come and attack you. And so we would pull up to the house to go inside, and I'm young. I mean, this is the early 80s, so booster seats weren't really a big thing, but I'm sitting in the car in the front seat, right, where everybody's going to die. I survived. And part of the routine was I would look for the goose. So my mother would park as close to the front door as she could without blocking it. And we'd look for the goose. And if it was safe, get out. And so, do you see the goose? I don't see the goose. She doesn't see the goose. So we get out. And the goose comes charging out of the bushes like a velociraptor at Jurassic Park. And she picks me up by my arms and swings me like golf club style, tees off, and clubs the goose in the foot, in the face with my feet. Dennis Campo saying that the throw, a couple slides back, looks like Ippon Sogi Nage. Uh, Dennis, what's the English translation of that, please? So, yeah, you can use your children as weapons in a self defense situation. They're the stuff of movies, myths, and masters. Challenge fights. Did they really happen? Should they happen today? What are your thoughts? They should not happen today. That's just silly. Um, and let me say, here's a pet peeve: Logan and Jake Paul being boxers to in that thing, stupid, just a bunch of stupid. Oh, Dennis says shoulder throw. Okay, Gabe was right. Dennis outranks us both. So if he says it's a shoulder throw, it's a shoulder throw. He actually knows what he's talking about too. All right, Matt says at one point I was running a school in the inner city and outside people would come in to start a fight or challenge. It happened a few times a week, so I wrote up a special waiver, charged them whatever special I was running, and allowed them to step on the mats. Very few went for it, but I enjoyed having it. Nice. Yeah, it's ego. I'm not a fan of ego leading action. If your ego is so fragile that you need to take action in an aggressive way against someone else, you are a bully and you deserve to have your face squashed. That's just how I feel. Whistlekick Live Season 1, Episode 7 was the first episode after the lockdown started. Here are a few topics from what unintentionally became our stay-at-home episode. Ugh. We've been doing this. It's a year of that. What have you done or will you do to adapt your training to your current situation? What are you hoping to accomplish while you're stuck at home? We all had these grand plans of all these things that we were going to do for like the 30 days we were going to be stuck at home. And now I feel like so many people's at home training has just become I wash my uniform. I kick the wall. That's pretty much my training. Oh, what did I say? I think a lot of people know that I kick things constantly. If I walk by certain walls, door frames, or my stand-up bag, it adds up to a few dozen kicks every day that otherwise I wouldn't get. That's pretty much still the majority of my training. Jenny says, luckily I married one of my instructors, so I'm still able to learn curriculum while the school is closed. I'm well aware of the privilege I have, and I have no shame. Yeah, and now there's a baby. Many schools move classes online, while others adjusted class sizes, both out of a heart to help. What can the martial arts community do to not only help ourselves and each other, but also the general public? Am I speaking to this from past tense or current tense? Whatever you want. Okay. Ah, one of the things that I've seen is that some schools opened up their Zoom classes and just some of them made it free or donation or pay what you want and really just tried to use it as an opportunity to give the community something else to do. And I really like that. I think that was great. For some areas of the country where this stuff is still going on and going on strong and there's still not in-person stuff, consider people's consider where they're at. People in your area that are going to be looking for things to do that are different. Don't be afraid to make martial arts one of them. This lockdown has forced us to rely Gabe's typing is not always accurate, so I'm guessing what he's writing on other martial artists. Yeah, absolutely. I had a interview today with someone that I started emailing with them. He emailed me at the first time right around, I don't know how long he'd been listening, but started emailing right around those bonus episodes I did about the lockdowns, my recommendations to schools and to martial artists, what to do as we go through this. And I think much of what I suggested really came to pass. Most of my predictions came true. And one of the things that we talked about was how important the stuff that we've put out has been to so many people. I mean, myself included. But I get email from people, I'm not going to say constantly, but frequently, to say, thanks for doing what you're doing. It's helping me get through this. That's why we do it. That's why we'll continue to do it. Jenny says, those two facts are unrelated. I was pregnant before lockdown. I wasn't quite connecting those dots, but thank you for doing it for us. Anna said, my studio is resorting to online lessons and more kata-based learning. We also have this opportunity to use YouTube for additional knowledge. Want to learn a fan dance and bring it back to your school? I say do it. Have a testing coming up? Find something new and creative to bring back and share so everyone can learn. Yeah. This is why I don't know that I would ever be able to be on like a network show. Like, look at me. I can't breathe properly and not yawn. All right, our next trivia question. Thank you for the warning, because I might have guessed something else was trivia that wasn't. I'm ready. Let's do it. Who was the first guest we had on the show? Oh, crap. Remember not to answer in the chat. I'm just going to guess because it's usually this person with everything I do. Like, there are a handful of people I reach out to for everything. And it's probably this person. Yeah, I think it was this person. The more I'm thinking about it. What non-martial arts movie quotes would be hilarious in the context of your training? All of them. Pretty much all of them. Here's some good ones. You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. From The Princess Bride. Resistance is futile. The Borg from Star Trek. You're going to learn, all right. All right, all right, all right. From Kevin Hart's stand-up comedy. It's all in the hips. Yeah, it's all in the hips. From Happy Gilmore. Don't act like you're not impressed. From Anchorman. I've been saved by my pinchers of power. From The Goonies. I have spoken, and this is the way. From The Mandalorian. I feel like pretty much any prominent quote would work. Oh, Frank is sending me. Hold on, I lost Gabe. Frank was sending me the quotes for tomorrow's episode of First Cup. Make sure I have those. I appreciate that. So make sure you check out First Cup, 6:30 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, every weekday on YouTube. A funny story from the above post. When we practice for tournaments, sometimes I will introduce myself with judges. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. See, in a lot of martial arts circles, the introductions have gotten long and dramatic, and they add a lot of time, and they can be frustrating to people. I think they should be fun. I think they should be ridiculous. And if I ever get to compete again, I'm probably not going to take any of it seriously. Story time with Matt. We've got 2 stories today. Cool. I was doing partner drills with my buddy Steve in class one day. We had stopped for food beforehand. I'd gotten a hot dog that was seemingly fine. A little bit of foreshadowing. As we started doing drills, I kept hunching over. Instructor came over and all I could say was, bad hot dog. The instructor took it as I got hit in the groin, picked me up and dropped me on my heels a few times. Steve laughed hysterically as I tried to stop him and explain I was feeling sick. The next time I get hit in the groin, I'm just gonna say bad hot dog. I love it. And the second one. My buddy Joe was doing a mat chat at the end of class. He was talking about nutrition. As he gets to the end, he realizes the kids are staring blankly. He got a little frustrated and said, basically, stop eating crap. In an attempt to recover, he just kept talking. One of the kids raised their hand nice and slow and called out, I heard that. Yeah, you can't say anything anywhere close to a bad word in front of a kid. They're gonna, they know. They know. They will call you out on it. Kids are the worst. What's one of your funny or weird training injuries? I broke this finger. I broke this tooth and it cost me a lot of money. That's not funny though. I don't think I have any funny ones. Oh, I like that we've given Jenny a new name. Jenny says this happened in a 4-on-1 sparring match where I was one of the 4 and Matt was the one. During the match, my other 3 team members were holding back, but not me, the big bad 8th gup that I was. For those of you that are not Taekwondo, uh, remind me, Matt and Jenny, in your school, do you guys count up or down? It's going to be too long of a delay. I'll chime back in when I get a response. I kept working my way in and trying to get some strikes in. At one point, I cut between 2 of my partners and slid in to land a side kick. As my leg was coming up, Matt planted a side kick of his own right under my left arm, nailing me in the rib cage and taking my breath away. He paused for a moment to make sure I was okay, and we finished the match. Turns out that kick cracked a few ribs. He and I had just started dating, so we tell everyone that was the day he kicked his way into my heart. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. They count down. So 8th gup would be a fairly low rank. Wow. Wow. I remember this feeling when I read this because I feel like I've read this story. So reading it again, yeah. It's, Matt, it's a good thing that she kept hanging out with you. 8th gup is roughly 6 months of training. Pretty aggressive. She's trying to make an impression, I think. Matt also pointed out that the original word wasn't crap. Ah, in that story, in the nutrition story. Much more significant story. Remember the stay-at-home kata challenge that Andrew and Gabe put together? I do. This was fun. Are we going to watch that video? Yay. Okay. I have to do audio. Audio. Mute. Unmuting my microphone. Go ahead when you're ready. Or I can press it. Here, you do it. For those of you that may be listening to this, it's Andrew with a hand broom and a dustpan and Gabe with a hoe. I love it. I love it. You guys should do something like that again. That was so much fun. It was a ton of fun. I'm having a little bit of work done on the house, like little stuff. You know, when you live in a house for a decade and you're like, oh, maybe I should fix that broken thing over there and replace that piece of trim there. It's a bunch of little stuff like that. But starting next week, it looks like we're going to get some stuff in the upstairs of the warehouse finished off, so I can actually do some more training and video up there. So looking forward to that. Here comes your next question. All right, bring it on. What's the next question? Okay. What was the first color of gear that Whistlekick produced? I know this one! I can even tell you the SKUs. I feel like I'm cheating on this one. It wasn't pink. It's the only hint you're going to get. Highlights from Season 1, Episodes 9 through 12. Episode 9 was the episode we went from Martial Arts Radio Live to Whistlekick Live. That was we spent a decent amount of time talking about it, and because the show had kind of grown to its own thing and rebranding it and giving it its own voice. We talked about a lot of different things that we would do hopefully in the future. I think we did all of them and much, much more. I remember, was this the first episode where we had the new logo, Gabe? Episode 9? Yeah, so if you're watching, you see the variation on the Whistlekick logo that we made, and we kicked a bunch of versions back and forth. Gabe made this. This was his idea. And it was a lot of fun to collaborate on this and think about how it was going to become its own segment within the Whistlekick universe, I guess we'll say. Yeah, rock on. A fascinating thought from Gabe. I find it interesting that underbelts strive to have a black belt mindset, while black belts strive to have a white belt mindset. Oh. Ooh. That's pretty poignant, man. That's good stuff. If you were a different type of person who indulged in substances, I would think that that was a thought that came to you while indulging in substances. I dig it. And the next shot is a picture of him with a Whistlekick shirt that on the back it says, a black belt isn't something you wear, it's something you become. And I think that's one of the shirts that we've done that I don't own. I don't have examples of every shirt that we've ever done because we've done a lot of shirts. We haven't done anything new in a while. We'll do something soon. Despite the somewhat philosophical intent of the previous picture, Jeremy used it to point out that he thought Gabe was going bald. Oh man, what a jerk. That Jeremy guy's the worst. And who am I to talk? I mean, look at me. I got like 8 hairs between my, across my whole skull. What was the question? I see answers, but what was the question? Oh, this is Jeopardy style. Oh, okay. Is this a trivia thing? No. Okay. So here are the answers, and you have to figure out what the question is. I said learning how to talk to people. Matt said a good work ethic. Gabe said gracious confrontation and flexibility in everyday life. And Dove said my migraines as a teenager. In Tang Sudo, we did enough meditation exercises so that I was able to relax in the middle of a migraine headache and release some of the tension. So the question, am I supposed to provide the question now? I never expected the martial arts to help with. Okay, I was pretty close. I would have said things I didn't expect the martial arts to help me with. So I was almost there. Right on. Oh, our next trivia question. What's Jeremy's favorite martial arts movie? Again, I feel like I have an advantage here. I better get this one right. What if I don't get this one right? Who gets to determine the right answer on this? If I put down an answer that's different than what Gabe has, am I wrong? That would be funny. I don't think that's going to be an issue. A typical day in the life of a martial artist. Gabe, I was talking to a friend who doesn't train in the martial arts, and he told me he didn't think training with so-called ancient weapons like swords and staffs was effective. So I picked up a 4-foot paint roller extension handle and hit him with it. He subsequently agreed with me. Yes, when someone disagrees with you, use violence to convey your opinion. That will always work. It's a great choice. Good job. Oh, what's going on in this chat over here? I don't know. It's not letting me move back. All this good stuff. See, this is one of the hard parts is the chat For those of you who never got a chance to join us live, the chat is fun, and anybody who's been in the chat knows that this is like a significant piece of this show. And I don't really get to engage with it in the same way because I'm doing this. And if I stop and I do that, then I can't do this. I'll tell you what Andrew said in the chat in a few minutes. Okay. Oh, I know what he's. Andrew, you're fired. What's the craziest thing you've seen happen at a tournament? What's the craziest thing you've seen happen at a tournament? What is the craziest thing seen happen? I don't know that I can answer that with any of the good stories that I have without throwing someone under the bus. That, martial arts in New England, it's like 2 degrees of separation. Anything I say would be very easy for people to figure out who I'm talking about. So I'm just not going to go there. But let's see what answers Gabe has for us. Jenny said, I once saw a guy's windpipe collapsed by a jump spinning back kick. Oof. 3 paramedics rushed over and performed a tracheotomy, then rushed him to the hospital. We heard a couple of weeks later that he was all right. Oof. Gabe says, I saw 2 moms get in a fight over their kids' sparring match. The kids were under 10. Yeah, you shouldn't have children. Jason says, I saw a mom changing her child's belt between divisions. I asked her what she was doing, and she said, oh, my son is only a green belt in this division and a yellow belt in this one. Oh. I've seen that too. I don't really agree with that. But it takes all kinds. When you tell a non-martial artist what you do, what word do you use? For example, I do karate or I practice kung fu. I think I typically say train. If you listen to martial arts radio, in the last year and a half, we've had several people on the show who use the word play, which initially I was resistant to, but I actually kind of like it. We've got this great meme, and it's the little girl, the little blonde girl in the pink jacket with the pigtails. My face when someone asks, "What do you do for fun?" I don't know, kick things. Yeah, I like kicking things. It's fun. Andrew's answer, I do martial arts. Matt says, I teach karate martial arts. I tend to say teach more than train or do. Laura says, I break or kick stuff. And apparently I said play. Hey, I'm consistent. That's cool. It's nice to see I'm consistent. I think the verb can change. You can train, you can play, you can do, you can practice, you can teach, you can be. I think even though I would use the word play as the verb for the most part, I think my general attitude is I don't it's not something I do, it's something I am. I am a martial artist, not so much I do martial arts. I think this is from the tournament thing. Dennis says 2 guys throwing roundhouse kicks simultaneously slamming their shins together and both legs broke. Ah! 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 Ow! That hurts. That hurts me thinking about that. Holy, because I know how much it hurts to not break your shin doing that. Shin bone's hard. Holy crap, what would have happened if they'd hit like somebody's skull? Not okay. What's the strangest place you've ever done a form? Slightly suggestive in the way that question is asked. Let's see. Beach, state park, backyard, hotel room, hotel hallway. Roof. Matt says, my desk when in high school, outside of Friendlies, restaurant, retirement home, courthouse. Gabe says, my daughter and I did a kata in Disneyland once. Leslie says, outside the Eiffel Tower, Tokyo Tower, on top of a mountain in Switzerland, Dublin Castle. So far, I think Leslie wins. Andrew says, at a resort in Jamaica, I told all the students in the dojo that I would still be practicing every day. I recorded a kata from a different location at the resort every day. The neatest was on a wall inside of a pool. The wall was 1 to 2 inches below the surface and was about 8 inches wide. I did Naifanshi Shodan, also called Teki Shodan. Jason says, that would have to be during a parade for me. The parade kept stopping, so I had the kids start doing forms. Laura says, a cruise ship. Yeah, I've done forms in a parade. I don't know that I've done forms on a cruise ship. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there are any others. I don't think I have any other good ones. All right, our 6th trivia question. What discussion topic or game have we talked about in more episodes than any other topic? I think I know this one. Maybe someday Whistlekick will reach the point of notoriety that we will have Wikipedia pages on all this stuff, and someone will go back and fact check all these things. That would be interesting. All right, highlights from season 2, episodes 1 through 4. We're coming to the end. Pick your favorite end of the world movie. Ooh, too much talking without inhaling. Put yourself in that movie as a martial artist. How do you fare? How do you affect the plot or outcome of the movie? I probably said Zombieland, because that's what I would have thought I would have said. And I think zombies are not going to be terribly responsive to martial arts unless that martial art is kabuto, weapons based. I see a strong opportunity for forms in there, or I'm sorry, for staff in there. Matt says knowing or 2012. Unfortunately, I don't feel as if my skills would take effect. Not sure I'd notice the pattern in knowing, so it'd be boring. In 2012, I might only get a boat if they'd pick me to train New World military. Keep my family alive might be a cool feat cinematically as the world crumbles. If Zombieland counts, that'd be my favorite and I'd do great. I'd have less one-liners, but I'd be fun to watch. I'd train those I keep with me. Stacy says, I am eaten alive by the bugs. And then Gabe says, Stacy, I totally see you going crazy on those bugs, Wreck-It Ralph style. I love it. And we've got a gif of Wreck-It Ralph wrecking things. Mr. Miyagi had wax on, wax off, sand the floor, paint the fence, and paint the house. Mr. Han, Karate Kid in 2010, had jacket on, jacket off. What drills have you seen or done that are like these? Scoop and throw. So teaching what I grew up calling an inside block or an inside forearm block. So imagine you have a shovel, a hand shovel, and you scoop and throw the dirt. Scoop and throw the dirt. Do I have another one? I think that's the I could make an argument for keeping your knee level, like on a front kick, and imagining a plant. I think somebody somewhere along the way said, imagine there's a plant on your thigh while you're doing a kick, which actually at this point I disagree with that logic. Matt says, serve the pizza. Look at the mirror. Stir the pot. It's been over 15 years. I can't remember all the names, but we used to name all the kids self-defense like that instead of the by the grab to help them. Jason says, my wife used pizza stop sign to teach guarding block with the knife hand. Okay, pizza stop sign. I often use stop and chop for a wrist grab, counter, and strike. Stop and chop. Wrist grab. Stop. Maybe that. Here, last question. Here it comes. Okay. What martial arts myth has come up in at least 3 episodes? All right. Got it. Oh, Frank's in the chat. Hey, Frank. For one clinch move, we say steer the school bus in Muay Thai. I like that. Matt says, I didn't think of Zombieland as end of the world till after someone else said it. That's entirely possible. All right, so we got the answers to the quick trivia questions. Let's see how you did. All right, I'm ready. I wrote them down. Number 1. What was the very first topic of the first episode of Whistlekick Live? Submitted by Andrew Adams. Who should be allowed to attend black belt tests? I wrote down earliest training memories, so I got that one wrong. Boo! Next, which episodes had significant technical issues? Season 1, episode 8. We had to end it about 15 minutes in because of internet load issues and did the full episode a week later. Oh, that's right. The episode that caused Jeremy to spend 3 times as much on internet access. Season 2, episode 1. Couldn't hear Justin during his interview because I didn't turn the audio on. Season 2, episode 4. Almost didn't get off the ground because Manycam and Zoom were not working together, but a last-minute reboot solved it. So don't forget, kids. When in doubt, reboot. I wrote down all of them. Who was the first guest we had on the show? Justin. I wrote down Jared. It's usually Jared. I usually ask Jared to do stuff. But I do remember that now. Was it Justin and then Jared was the second one on that episode? No? We didn't have Jared that time? Do we get partial credit? No. No partial credit. We didn't have a second guest. Oh, okay. Because of the sound. But was it going to be Jared? No? Andrew. Andrew was going to be the second one. Okay. All right. I am striping out, folks. I got this one. First color of gear, black. In fact, there isn't even color in the SKUs. In all the other SKUs, the stock keeping units for you retail nerds out there. Gabe, I hate you. What's Jeremy's favorite martial arts movie? It's not Best of the Best. It's Crouching Tiger. I'm giving myself that one, and you're all wrong. You're all fired. Not really. I need your help. Thank you for your help. What discussion topic have we talked about in more episodes than any other? The self-defense game. If you were attacked right now, at least 3 episodes. Season 1, episode 5, 6, and 2, episode 5. And I wrote down the improvised weapons. Yeah, so I got that one right. Woo! I'm on a streak. I got 3. Let's see. What martial arts myths have come up in at least 3 episodes? Having to register your hands as deadly weapons. The need to register hands at black belt. I got 4. Anybody beat me? Jenny got Crouching Tiger. This was fun. We're doing rapid fire trivia too? Okay. Ugh. I don't know why I'm stretching. Hold on. I like that rapid fire trivia has pictures of squirt guns. Specifically super soakers. Andrew got 2. All right, let's do it. The person you're playing against got 0 right in a minute 20. That's setting the bar low. All right. I've taken every question you've gotten wrong from previous episodes and put them all in one. Ugh. I hope you've been studying. Ugh. Ugh. You're like half of my high school teachers. All right. The final is all the questions you guys did terribly on throughout the year. All right, let's do it. Ready, set, go. What year was the Karate Kid released? I was 1 year off last time. I think I said 83 and it's 84, or I said 84 and it's 83. So 83. When did Bruce Lee die? 65. What famous martial arts actor is also a professional bowler? I don't know. What state has most martial arts schools per capita? Florida. First martial art in the modern Olympics? Judo. Who is considered the most famous samurai? Musashi. Who is credited as the first American to teach karate in the U.S.? Mitosi. Why is a karate gi white? I don't know. It symbolizes purity or something. What does the color black represent on the uniform in Taekwondo? Wisdom. What do BJJ practitioners call their uniform? It's a gi, but you called it a kimono when we did this last time. Korean word used to refer to a belt or rank. Gup. What does Aikido mean? Gentle way. The armor called used in Kendo. I don't remember. Name one of the 4 founders of Kajikembo. I just looked at a list and I don't even remember them. Pass. Where was the American Taekwondo Association founded? The ATA, Illinois. Name a style with no strikes. Judo. What does judo mean? I don't know. What does Shotokan mean? I saw it on a patch before. It had something to do with pine trees. That's all. Let's see how we did. It's the Looney Tunes end graphic, but my face in the middle of it. It's very flattering. Karate Kid was released in '84. I don't even remember what I said this time. Bruce Lee died in '73. Way off. Jackie Chan is also a pro bowler. Rhode Island has the most martial arts schools per capita. First martial art in the modern Olympics, judo. I got that one. Most famous samurai, Musashi. I got that one. Trias. That's the one I was trying to think of, but I wasn't getting there. First American teacher. Why is a gi white? It's the undergarment. What does the color black represent in Taekwondo? Knowledge. I said wisdom. I don't know if that's the same thing. BJJ practitioners call their uniform a kimono. So what am I at? 4, 5. Korean word for belt or rank is gup. I got that one. Oh, Aikido. The way of the harmonious spirit. I didn't get that. Kendo armor. Bogu. Definitely get that. Founders Kajikembo. Adriano Emperado, Yil Chu, Joel Hawk, Frank Ordonez, and Clarence Chang. Where was the ATA founded? Omaha, Nebraska. Name a style with no strikes. Judo or Jiu-Jitsu? I got that. What does judo mean? Gentle way. I got that. Didn't I? I think I got that. What does Shotokan mean? School of Waving Pines. I sort of got that, but half skipped it because I kind of saw the answer ahead. So I'm not going to take credit for that one. So I got like, what, 5, 6? See? I learn. I can be educated. I can get better. All right. And that's a great place to end it. So those of you who have watched, I don't know if anybody's, I know that at least 2 of us have been here for every episode. Gabe and I have been here for every episode. I'm going to guess that some of you in the chat have been here for every episode. I'm curious, does anybody out there feel like they've been to every single one of these? If so, I definitely want to recognize you by name. And those of you watching or listening later, watching now, thank you. This show's been a lot of fun. It's been a great opportunity. Gabe and I are far better friends than when we started. We both learned a ton of stuff about the technical side of how all this stuff works. And I've said it before. I will say it again. I don't know if I've said it on the show, but I've definitely said it to Gabe a number of times. When you look at what we've been able to do with relatively little resources and comparatively low investment of hours, we've put together a pretty good show. Look at every other kind of nighttime show that we'd be competing against. There would be dozens of people working full time to produce a single episode. So if you think about the economy of what goes into this versus what comes out, I think we've done a pretty darn good job, and I'm really proud of it. And I'm thankful for all of you for joining. Andrew says he missed 1. Matt and Jenny says they've made it to every one. That's awesome. I'm super excited. Thank you guys. Thank you for your support. And I really wish, there we go. Anybody else? Anybody else? Matt says, I'll miss seeing your ugly mug each month. Matt, you have 20 opportunities a month to watch me on First Cup. There are at least 10 hours of programming in video, not to mention Andrew and I doing the video episodes of Martial Arts Radio. So you can see my face plenty of times. I'm looking at you, Matt Nather, with your goofy stories. I want to shout out Stacy and Laura, Team Smashy Smash, and they're like breaking TikTok with their videos. Between Laura and Stacy, they're in the literally tens of millions of views, and I think they started a month ago. It's kind of ridiculous. Matt's saying that he can't watch First Cup because he's on baby duty. I have no idea. The show gets recorded, man. You can watch it later. Sounds like BS to me. But yeah, if you're on TikTok, um, look for what is Laura's handle? Smashy Napoli. And hold on, I want to see if I can find Stacy's. I want to make sure I get these right. Bear with me. Bear with me. No, stop. Where are we? Okay, Laura. Yeah, Laura is Smashing Napoli, and then Stacy is Sulis Dracarys. SULIS DRACARYS. Yeah, it's a ridiculous number of views between the two of them. Millions of likes, tons of comments, and they're doing a great job. They're doing on TikTok what I would hope we could do with TikTok. So go check them out. Make sure you add them. Make sure you're following us on social media. Make sure you're checking everything out. If you've been looking at one of the programs we have, grab them by the end of the week. We are raising prices starting next week. They have to go up. They're too cheap. I'm getting flack from consultants that we need to raise those prices. Once again, I want to shout out Gabe and thank him for all of the time that he invested into the show. He absolutely killed it. I appreciate you, my friend. And we're going to have to find something else that we can work on now that we are putting this to bed. So that is it. So thank you. And I hope to see you around in some other way. And don't be a stranger. My email address, jeremy@whistlekick.com. I want to hear from all of you. Have a great night. Take care, everybody. Peace.